So this is my chicken coop, built with 100% recycled materials, most of which I got on Craigslist or just off the side of the road. And it only took a few weeks to build, so pretty much anybody can do something like this and fit it into their schedule. And I want to show you some of the coolest features about it and just how it was built.
And before I get started, I just want to take a moment to say thanks to those of you who like and subscribe. And if you haven't yet, please be sure to hit those buttons. There are about 15 chickens in this coop right now, and here you can see what you can expect to find just about every day. Considering all the expenses, these eggs are way cheaper and healthier than anything you can get in a store. So the first thing we need to consider is location. You could see that the site we selected for the coop is right across from a beautiful pond view, so there's plenty of access to water, greens, and nature. For materials, it's going to take a while to collect all the things we need. Since we're not buying any new materials, we're going to need lots and lots of scrap wood, plywood, planks that you can find on CL or in your attic or basement, and pallets too. Here's the first idea that we had to use pallets to make a coop, which probably wouldn't work. For our design, we're also going to need to be using bricks. It helps if you have some kids around or your friends' kids to help build and lug things too. And it's a fun learning experience for them too. We also went ahead and picked up some pressure-treated deck scraps. It's always important to do a chicken coop dance to get the project started. After playing around with the materials a bit, we were thinking about maybe a decorative brick base using pallets as the base of the coop. And after some time for reflection, we drew up some whiteboard plans for the idea. We decided to use a bunch of reinforced concrete blocks for the foundation on a base of filtered sand, with the blocks filled with pebbles and pressure-treated wood to keep it stable. Rebar would have been good too, but we didn't have any. Here you can see how we're manually sifting sand and rocks using a sieve we made. And after lots of work to level it all out, we used 2 strong pallets as the base of the coop. Fortunately, we found these 2 7-foot-long specialized pallets that already had some pretty thick boards nailed to some 4x4s, so this would be very sturdy as the sides. It took a while to remove some loose nails, but it's worth it to save some nice pieces of wood like this. We also picked up some long fence posts that will help to hold up the fencing material at the end. After screwing the sides to the pallet base, we made some trusses for the gable roof out of cardboard, and used that as a template to make real trusses out of some nice thick scrap wood. And it's really coming along. And after putting up a couple of them, we mounted the center beam and the rest of the trusses, and finally, a couple of pieces of plywood for the roof. It may not seem solid, but trust me, it's solid enough to grab the trusses and hang from them. The sides were painted in a couple of coatings of weather-resistant stain. Then, after applying a layer of weather beater on the roof plywood, we put on some regular asphalt roofing shingles using nails and some heavy-duty staples. And mounted a nice hinged nesting box in the back with 3 compartments. Here I'm using a few planks to create a hinged front door. And put up a couple of screen windows. This is what it looks like when you open the door. Installing a long pallet in front makes it a little easier for them to get up and down to the coop. And for human access, I built a door flush up against the side of the coop in the back with a double layer of fencing and a couple of manual locks. It takes a couple of kicks to get it closed, but it's pretty tight once it finally does. And just outside the coop, there's this whole ecosystem that helps support it, including wildlife, plants, and we've been growing greens and corn to feed the chickens as well, even though they'd be pretty much happy just eating weeds. And it turns out grass clippings are a great way for the chickens to create bedding, and often they'll just eat the grass when they're hungry. Here's a few features about the coop that I wanted to share. This is a curtain made out of a feed bag that helps to separate the main coop from the egg-laying area, which helps the hens to have a little peace and cut down on fights. These watering devices are pretty cool. You can fill up an entire rain barrel or one of these 5-gallon barrels with water and drill a little hole, and a spring inside this device will just let out the right amount of water each time. This is a trail cam video of the back of the coop. You can see raccoons, foxes, and sometimes coyotes here. But a double layer of fencing, sealed at the bottom with bricks, so far has kept these guys safe for a year. And if you check out the interior, it's just barely big enough for me to enter, a little crouched over, but allows the birds to perch on the sides with plenty of space to rest. This little box is sort of a hiding space for younger chickens before they're big enough to play with the larger ones. And for a little decoration, this is a door handle made from some pine log scraps. But we can't have a coop without chickens. So these guys are the only things I paid for, which I got from a farm a few miles away as a farmyard assortment of different types of chickens. We built an Arduino-based incubator, which turns a light on and off until it achieves a steady state temperature. And 21 days later or so, we got a bunch of chicks that quickly became coop-sized within a matter of weeks. So far, there have been 3 generations since this coop was built, and they now lay anywhere from 4 to 8 eggs a day, which is just perfect for our needs. I would highly recommend this experience for those of you who live in an area that allow chickens. Once again, thanks for watching, and please be sure to hit like and subscribe.